Hello and welcome. My name is Gio from SwitchRPG.com. Today we have something a little special. For actually, it's a first on my end as well. We have a developer interview. The developer is Cradle Games, and they are the developers of Hellpoint. First off, why don't you guys introduce yourself, and we'll get things going.
Well, hi, thanks for the interview. My name is Matt Boudreau. I'm a creative director at Cradle Games.
I'm Mark, and I'm the technical director.
Excellent, excellent. And also, as I've already formally introduced myself, we also have here Clark from SwitchRPGs. Clark, why don't you give a little descriptive of yourself?
Hey guys, I'm Clark. I'm a big Souls-like gamer, new to the Switch RPG family. I'm happy to be here. I'm very excited. I've been wanting to talk to these guys for a while. Been playing the game for a while, and I'm looking forward to this.
Excellent, excellent. First and foremost, now Hellpoint has been out for what, about a year or so now? Is that
no,
right?
since July.
August?
6
Okay.
months, 7 months.
Okay. If you guys could just kind of just explain what you call what is Hellpoint?
Well, if I may, Hellpoint is a Souls-like action RPG, multiplayer, which takes place on a space colony that orbits around a black hole. And the orbit is in real time, so depending on what time of day you get into the game, different event may happen. Like mini-boss can invade the station, or hordes can also take a board on the station, or secret puzzles may reveal themselves. So that's what we like to do, like real-time evolutive action RPG.
Yeah,
It's coming. It came out in July and on Switch like this last Friday.
Yeah, this past week. And
It's
how
pretty exciting.
how was that launch? Was it pretty good, relatively good? You got any numbers back in on that yet, or it's too early to tell?
I would say the launch was both on Stadia and the Switch.
Okay.
There's the it's difficult to have numbers because usually it's sales numbers and they come like 2 or 3 times a year and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
So the only numbers we can see is how many people actually logged in the server in the backend.
Oh, okay.
And so it's only people that have Nintendo Online and decide to use it. So it's a very skewed numbers that we have so far. So far, it looks good. It looks pretty good for a launch that late after the main game.
Yeah, and it was also delayed a couple of times, right, due to the the environment we're all in, right?
Yeah, and that's the only port that we didn't fully done in house that we used someone else, and let's say we always prefer to do it in house.
Sure. I think most developers feel that way. They'd much rather just handle everything themselves. But you guys can't do everything, right? I mean, that's a big ask for you guys.
Yeah, we were 11 people, so
yeah,
we try to do as much as we can.
11 people. It
was a big challenge. Hellpoint is super massive, so when bringing it down to the Switch format was quite a challenge. But as we do everything, we're still supporting that version, releasing updates and listening to the fans. So that's all ongoing as for everything that we do, basically. So we can expect the game to improve in the following days.
Over time. That's perfect. Clark, why don't you go ahead and ask the next one?
This is the final release for Hellpoint now. It's out everywhere. You guys finally done releasing Hellpoint? How's that feel?
Are we?
We're not done.
No?
They're doing a Game Boy release.
There's more.
That's like Skyrim.
No?
Yeah, we have the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X that is coming soon, later this year.
Awesome. I did not know.
Yeah,
Great.
so we're pretty much taking the PC version and porting it on the PS5. So it's going to be like high resolution, 4K and stuff like that. So it's a lot easier.
Will my PlayStation 4 save transfer over?
Yes, it's supposed to be.
Just curious.
It's supposed to be, if everything works out as it should, right?
Yeah, that's good. I mean, right now you can play the PlayStation version on the PlayStation 5, and you can play the Xbox One version on the Series X with the kind of backward compatibility. So the save game just follow, and the trick is going to be to have cross save game between PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 and Xbox One and Series X. And right now we're also doing all the sort of investigation with Sony and Microsoft for cross-platform, cross-play, cross
Oh, okay.
everything.
Yeah,
that was
that would be excellent.
something I was definitely going to ask about with the online support on the Switch and the size of the community, if there would be cross-play.
Not right now, but that's the goal. The issue with crossplay is that every platform has their own sort of
Infrastructure, right?
Works.
I wouldn't say requirement, but legal issue with crossplay. So
Oh,
you have to submit the proposal and explain everything in great detail, or you're going to protect the players from the nasty players from other platforms.
yeah.
Yeah.
I never
Cross contamination.
Yeah, pretty
yeah.
much.
I never thought of crossplay like having such a legal impact like that, but yeah, that you bring up a really good point there.
Yeah, because just the name of players. Each platform they have a system in place to filter bad words, but it's not exactly the same between platforms. So one word that is acceptable on Sony platform might not be on Nintendo.
Okay.
So what are you going to do to make sure that player A cannot see the bad name of player B?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm glad you guys are on top of that.
Yes.
As a developer, like, has the Nintendo, we hear about the development process for the Nintendo Switch. Now it sounds like you guys ported out that process. What have you heard from, say, the porting studio, or maybe some of your experiences developing for the Nintendo Switch? Problems?
That's um, not really problems. I would say Japanese game platform are always somewhat special.
Okay.
If you take the Xbox is pretty much a straightforward PC.
Okay.
That's it. It's use PC API and that's it. If you take a good example is the PlayStation 3 with its 7 cores, all dedicated to something different. Or you take the Nintendo 3DS that has cat stuff that has dedicated audio memory. So there is always something special going on with Sony and Nintendo when they make hardware.
Okay. So they're just all just very, very different.
Yeah, and even between their own platform, like the Switch versus the Wii, you would assume that something would follow, but no, they pretty much start from scratch every time.
Wow. Well, were there, were there any compromises in the Nintendo Switch version other than maybe some down-resing or anything like that?
Uh, it's still not the most powerful platform or
Mhm.
console ever. I mean, if especially today you would take a cell phone, it's more powerful. Uh, yeah, by a lot.
By a lot. Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's pretty much a tablet, so
Yeah.
it cannot like drain 300 watts of power like a PC or something like that. So it's quite limited in power scopes and a lot of things like that. Except, I would say, to the credit of Nintendo, they really made sure that the platform would support pretty much all the shading standard of other platforms. So if you have a shader that runs on the PlayStation, you have 99% chance it's going to run on the Switch. So that's great, because if you take like the Wii, you pretty much had to rewrite everything to make it work on it.
Ouch. Oh
So
boy.
the Switch is really a big step toward indie developer making game for it.
Oh, good. That's good that they've made things easier on you guys. Excellent. One question I always like to ask, and I generally ask this with a lot of other developers too. I like the paths that game the idea of a game takes. Was your intention always to make Hellpoint a Souls-like, or did you have it as like an MMO at first, or a platformer? Like what was it always going to be a Souls-like?
Pretty much. My inspiration was more Bloodborne than Dark Souls, to be honest.
Okay.
Bloodborne really left deep scar in me. But it's great because now we have the right to make hardcore RPG game again
Good.
since Dark Souls. So I was glad that they reintroduced that philosophy. But yes, it was intended to be a Souls-like from the start. But
Excellent.
who knows about the future?
Oh, we'll get into that.
Was there anything besides, Dark Souls or the Souls-like that was a big influence on? I know it's set in space, and my mind goes to Dead Space, but is that really what you drew from, or?
I think it always surprised people when I see my first and foremost inspiration was Swedish heavy metal.
Okay.
So yeah, I drew a lot of images from sound and from the lyrics and groups like Opeth and In Flames and Meshuggah, and so they always have those big heavy riffs about monsters behind space, Lovecraftian horror, and so on. So I created like the Jester race directly from In Flames. You fight the Master of Puppet, pretty much inspired by Metallica. So it's
Yeah.
really a heavy metal game, although the music is not heavy metal at all. Well, there's a couple inspiration, but yeah, it's surprisingly
Is it
Swedish heavy metal the main inspiration.
wasn't the boss you referenced, wasn't his entire name like references to like 3 or 4 different metal bands?
Pretty much, yes.
That's what I thought.
It's good to be able to kick their ass.
It was a good fight. And speaking of who was getting kicked, I think it was a little more the opposite way for me. I was getting beat down a lot in that fight. He was
Yeah, but
tough.
you must take your revenge.
Oh, I've already taken my revenge. That has happened, sir.
Good. It strike at your ego, and you must
Yeah.
restore your honor. That's what I like about these games.
Yeah, they're perfect.
I can't leave it like that.
Mm-hmm. One of the things the Souls-like, and I can't express how much I absolutely hate that word, and we've used it a million times here, but I mean, what else can we call it? Just like a stamina-based action RPG? Can we call it that? Will that work?
Yeah, it kind of took all the design principle for itself, but stamina-based system exists for way before Dark Souls. It's just we had to suffer through 10 years of casual gaming, and now it's like finally a hardcore RPG is back. It's okay, all games are gonna be Souls-like from now on.
Yeah, yeah.
Wait, it's a bit
Return to
wider
the
than
challenge.
that. Even
Well-
Souls-like is a subgenre of action adventure, as far as I'm concerned. It's not a genre in itself. And I think, if I'm not wrong, the fad is almost past as well. We see a lot of that. We came in last. There's like 8 different Souls-like from indie creators that came before us, and with all the delays and all that, we came out last. It was supposed to come out in 2017,
Oh, really? Was it?
Yeah, but
Oh,
trials and tribulation.
sure.
Kind of hard to.
Would have been a much different game.
Yeah, making a game and starting a business at the same time is quite an ordeal.
I can only imagine. Now, what is your approach to try and make Hellpoint stand out from, like you would mention, like we're seeing a lot of the genre or whatever you want to call it come back. What is your approach to try and make that Hellpoint really kind of just stand out?
I think after 6 or 8 months, we kind of forgot the initial inspiration, and it went into its own thing. We did borrow a few things because it was fun. It was a quick way to get things started on a strong basis, like bonfires and souls and
Hmm.
investing in your character and stamina and all that. But beyond that, I mean, we got the real-time evaluating world system with the orbit on the black hole at certain hour. Certain things happens. We got the dedicated jump button, so there's a more platforming, more aerial combat. Each weapon's got their own XP bar, so the more you fight with them, the more you unlock the abilities. But you can transfer some upgrade from one weapon to the other, so you're not stuck with one for the entirety of the game.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to Dark Souls, we support multiplayer uninterrupted from the beginning to the end. So we try to. We didn't care if it makes you overpower for your own game. It's just fun.
It is
to
just
be
fun.
able. Yeah. So we made that compromise. I'm certainly forgetting a few things, but for everything that we borrow from Dark Souls, at least we try to come up with 10 new ideas that's just fresh. So it's a matter of honor. So I think people need to go beyond the surface and find out what we've tried to create here. At first look, it might really sound similar to a Souls-like, but it's really its own thing, I think.
Perfect.
One thing I want to ask about, I've been playing the game since launch, and I believe you couldn't actually do the co-op for the first couple of weeks. So it was kind of being staggered, the release of it, and then around Christmas time, you had the, I don't even know what you want to call it, the PvP arena added.
Yep.
Is all of that functionality? I've just been playing on the Switch version for just a little while. Is all of that functionality included in the Switch?
Yep.
All of that?
Yeah. The big thing that happened when we launched the game is there was a lot of firsts for us, especially having matchmaking servers. And since it's not the kind of game with you have a lobby, you join a few people, then you launch the game, and that's pretty much how most multiplayer game works. So when we went and had to have a matchmaking server, most service you can purchase online just offer you, hey, just do that and you have a lobby. But you don't have a lobby. You can opt in and opt out of the game anywhere, anytime. You can do it online. You can do it in split screen. You can do it whenever. And when we end up looking at how other Souls-like do it, we didn't really like it either. Like trying to find your friend on Dark Souls.
Oh, it's impossible.
Yeah, and then you can only play one boss.
Yeah.
Once the boss is beaten, your friend is kicked out. So we're like, there's got to be a better way. So we wrote our old matchmaking and server ourselves.
Oh, wow.
And there was a lot of learning that happened in that. One of the things that happened is when the game launched, Microsoft decided to launch the game, I think it's 6 hours early, without telling us. So I had a call in the morning of some angry people at Tiny Build saying, "What happened? The game doesn't launch properly, and it's stuck on retrieving data from the server." I opened all the charts from the server, and everything was just exploding with like 2 minutes of answer time from the server. So
Oh, no.
there was a lot of learning of. Launch should be much smoother than that.
And I referenced the holiday content you guys put out. Now that the game is on Switch, is there similar content like that may be coming that the Switch audience can look forward to? Because I loved both the Halloween and Christmas stuff.
Yeah, the idea is anything that is going to happen on the other platform, the Switch is going to get it as well.
Will is that going to be annual content? Like, can we expect that to happen each year, like the UFO to come during Halloween?
I mean, I'm not sure how much we can talk about the DLC, but the next big thing for Hellpoint is going to be that, which all platforms is going to get at the same time.
Awesome. So that was the next question. Can we expect any kind of DLC or paid content?
Yep.
If you want to
yeah, we're working hard on that. But you can also expect a Halloween event to come back every year. I don't think that's a problem. We just flick a switch.
Mhm.
It's party time.
It's
So.
cool.
It's party time. Now, can you make it more metal though?
Yeah, it was a bit
Pretty metal.
cutesy. Yeah, I think we kind of slowly delved into a mood that we've been doing a horror game for 5 years. Like let's light up the mood a bit and add Frankenstein monsters in there and all.
Yeah.
But
I liked it. I liked the kind of funniness. It was good.
some people did not. Like, you're ruining my experience. Okay, I'm gonna add a switch to turn it off in the options
There you
if
go.
you don't like cutesy
Yeah.
stuff.
So the final version of the game is, aside from DLC, was there anything that maybe you wished had made the final game that was just kind of just cut and or maybe that'll come back as something?
Honestly, we should have cut more stuff. We didn't cut enough. We were kind of well. In the end, it turned out well, but usually we're more strict with the amount of features. The game has a lot of
Yeah.
feature for a small team. It's pretty insane. But one cool thing is that with the upcoming DLC, the only thing I can say is it's gonna wrap up the whole vision that we have for the game from the get go. So. There were some environment that were cut in the end. We're bringing them back with a big piece of the story additionally added to it. So it's really, really cool for us to be able to have the resources to do that. So it's cool that the game sold enough for us to do that. So
That's perfect. Now, how this DLC this future DLC, how long can we expect in terms of playtime wise? I know that's always something that people always ask.
it's hard to say because usually walkthrough time for one map is 2 or 3 hours, but we often see players spending 20, 50 hours per map when they try to find everything. So that's a recipe that we're going to keep for the DS as well.
Okay.
I think one formula that we have on average is like 1 hour per buck. So
Okay.
we charge $10 for it. You have at least 10 hours of content.
Okay.
So we're going to evaluate as we get close to pricing it, but as usual, it should be pretty massive. Maybe too much, but it's gonna be awesome.
Perfect.
We had kind of touched on already the day clock rotation system. How'd you come up with that idea? That's very unique. I think it's great. It's one of my favorite things. Where did that come from?
I like that the game feels like a living world that's not 100% dependent on me and what I do and putting one step after the other, like the show Truman. So I think it's great for immersion. We really like it to feel that the world just keep evolving and you're more insignificant than you think,
Right.
and things are more unpredictable. You cannot plan everything. Things get in your way you didn't expect it. So that sense of, I think it's we get sleepy very fast in games, so we need that kind of hard drug to keep us awake. So I think that's a great way to do it. I think we're gonna expand on that idea for future game as well. It's a good path.
Perfect.
It's very unique. All the Souls-like games, everybody's trying to come up with some sort of way to keep you on your toes, and this one really did, because so many moments of wait, this isn't the room I was just in. You know what I mean? So it was really nice touch.
Wait a minute.
Gio, you want to ask this one, or you want me to continue?
No, you can go ahead.
Let's talk about the jumping mechanic. I think it adds a lot of fun. I'm sure you probably had a little bit of flack from that as well. Jumping and platforming being what it is. But I'm really curious. Was that original? Like, did that get added in at some point, or did you always know there was going to be jumping on Ira Nova?
Yeah, for some reason, Souls-like fans are not necessarily platforming game fans as well. That's something that we've learned. But all the while we did play tests, it never came up as a problem. It's just once the game was out into the public that. So a few things we couldn't expect once the game reaches tens of thousands of players, but it was an idea pretty soon that we've prototyped one of the earliest one. We thought it would be great for adding one more dimension to combat. So now we can go up in the air. So that was a way to spice things up. And with that feature, we could enhance both the combat and the exploration. So it seems like two birds with one stone. So it was a gut feeling. So okay, that could lead to some interesting stuff. We prototyped it early. I'm very peculiar about how I like the game mechanics to work. It's about 90% where I would like it to be, but it's quite a challenge to do. In the end, I think it worked well.
I think so. I love the little addition of the elevators with no platform. You just got to run and try to grab on, or go into space, if you will. Like, it's the first time I saw one of those, and I
Mhm.
realized what you were asking me to do. I was like, oh, of course I have to. Of course, watch me die right here. So, it was well done. It was perfect. It went well.
It's pretty
Great.
amazing that the whole level, the whole game came from a single brain.
What?
The old game, the old level design came from a single brain.
Oh,
Yeah.
I heard a seagull brain.
Mine.
Mine. Oh man.
Yeah, I scared a lot of level artists. I felt like 7 level artists.
Oh wow.
Yeah, once I'm in the zone, it's intense.
Speaking of that, of all the Souls likes, I'm sorry to keep using that word, Geo. It's just easy. That I played. I don't think I found one that's more densely packed with secrets and secrets within secrets and all of this stuff. I'm just really curious. Is there any we haven't quite figured out yet? Anything left the community hasn't unraveled?
It's always possible because I don't have a good memory. So even if you ask me, did they find everything? I probably forgot about one or two.
From what I
will come back after a while.
stream, I think they found everything. We had a few issues with a couple of secret when we launched that were not accessible. That we quickly did some fix in the levels, but I think by now they found everything. I think I think the one that people is stumble the most about is the pet that you can summon using the Konami code. So people trying to do it on the keyboard is a bit harder.
I thought that was. I read we couldn't do that unless you're in Twitch or something. I've not been able to figure out the Konami code thing.
No, it's live in all the platforms.
All right, then I'll keep trying.
Yeah, I have 3 ways to summon it, and Twitch is only one of them.
Okay, that's good to know. I'll figure it out then. I thought it was just I gave up at a point thinking, oh, I can't do it. I'm gonna quit trying. So I'm not gonna give up now. Speaking. Okay, here's a question I'm really excited to ask. The Underworld that you guys have implemented in Hellpoint. Have you had a chance to play Blue Point's remake of Demon Souls yet?
No, I don't have a PS5.
That's a problem for everybody.
Yeah.
Nobody has a PS5.
I maybe have one, but I don't know where it came from. Oh. But they added fractured mode to the game, which is the Underworld, like down to a T. So I was just curious. Yeah, I was blown away. I was like, wait, an idea that I think came from Hellpoint is now in Blue Point.
Get the lawyers on the phone. Get them on the phone.
I was just going to ask how that felt when you saw that. Because, I mean, even to the reversed hands with the same buttons. Like,
that would be...
That's news.
I couldn't imagine how much of an honor that would be. But I don't believe in coincidences.
Yes, it's a coincidence, right? No, still, though, I was happy for you when I saw that. I was like, oh, I know what fractured mode is.
There's a lot of things that if they take from Hellpoint and they have in their game that we would be happy to do. Like if they can make the whole game work in co-op from A to Z, yes, we always need more like that. Or if suddenly there's more split screen game, always a plus.
Mm-hmm.
So if they want to send to go down that road, we're always for it.
Does the split screen work on Switch?
Sadly not.
Oh, okay. I didn't think so. That's too bad.
Yeah, we really tried to have it, but it was a matter of performance.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Spontaneous combustion of the
Yeah,
console.
the first time we tried running it on the kit, the thing was so hot we couldn't hold it.
One, just a fun question for you guys. It may not be the right people to ask, but I have always gotten a kick out of one of your social media sites refer to the game as Hexbot. And I was just curious if there was an inside joke behind that, where Hexbot came from, because it makes me laugh so much.
Yes, it's an inside joke from the Discord, the community on Discord.
Awesome.
So the idea was at some point we in the development, especially for some platform like I think it's mostly Sony, it's usually well seen if you have a way to turn off blood. Because there's hemophobia, so people that are fear of blood. So if you can turn it off or have an option to color it something that is not red, automatically you get some point in the review and some friendliness from the age ratings. And while we were doing that, the Discord was having fun with the fact that there's the word hell in the game, so it's not friendly, so it should be something else. So there was Xpoint at some point that came up on this on the Discord, but we found out that there is a game on Steam called Xpoint. So it slowly turned to Xpot, and we made that the in-game, if you turn off blood, the main title of the game in the main menus change for Xpot.
Well, believe it or not, I had not turned off blood and didn't know that.
Yeah.
That is so awesome.
So it is just a wave to the Discord community that are just awesome.
I noticed you guys have been really active with your community. I remember making a couple comments on the social media, just saying like how much I love the Halloween and like, hey, are you guys gonna do something for Christmas? And like next thing I see is you guys are pulling people. Would you guys like to see a Christmas event? Blah 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 blah. And I was like, I want to kill demons with the candy canes. And then I noticed that you've been doing these community spotlights where you give people badges on Discord and whatnot. Was that just that evolved from interacting with the community, or when you set out to do this, you're like, we're going to be focused on the community and get involved with them through social media? Because frankly, not everybody does this.
Oh, that was a core for our company for sure. And that's what we do games. That's what we weren't really able to do earlier in our career working for a huge corporation. You don't have that level of interaction with your player base. So now finally it was like, yeah, here's a game demo. We haven't seen demos in 20 years, but go ahead and try it. It's 15 hours and tell us what you think. And we made the changes according to that. And one of them actually told us about Discord. We had no idea it existed. So even that is because of the community. Ever since, I mean, we're there 24/7, always talking with them, and it just makes better game. It makes the work more fun. It gives us ideas. So I'm such a fan of our community that I came up with the idea of fan art. So we're making fan art about our fans. We get to know them. I know somebody like Gundam, or somebody's a writer, or somebody likes to. So someone forges actual weapons with metal based on Hellpoint.
That's amazing.
So it was like, you deserve a fan art. We have our concept artists working on that. So now we try to release a bunch of them. But yeah, I think that's probably one of the best part about this job, I think.
Yeah, it's something that when we started the company, it was absolutely a must. When I started in the industry, it was with a company in the US called Ravensoft. That before they got bought by Activision, they were exactly like that. You could go on their forums, you could ask them questions, and all the developers were there and answering questions. And it's something that without them, I wouldn't be in the industry. So that was something that was really important. And when we went to choose a publisher like Tiny Build, one of the questions we asked them is, we want to have direct connection with the community. Is that a problem? Because we know that other publishers want to have control, want to have PR, want to have sort of bubble where there's no uncertainty, and that's not something we wanted. We wanted to be able to like ask questions directly to people, and people telling us when something doesn't work or they don't like something, they can tell us directly, and we don't have to wait
Right.
for some
Fuck is good.
some 12 level of management to tell us something. So it was really important for us. And Tiny Build, when they heard that, they were like, sure,
Yeah.
less fee for us. We don't have to pay to that much people. You can handle it yourself. So that was just a good match.
Yeah. Tiny Bill's definitely really good with kind of like the community support. They have a really good following in that aspect. They listen to a lot of their fans, which is always really fun. But final question for me is, what can we expect from you guys in the future? Can we, as far as Cradle Games is concerned, what can you give us a little hint as to what your next project is?
All I can say is we have a ton of game idea that we want to do before we die, and they are quite different one from the other, you know. So what we wanted to do with Hellpoint is at least build this big engine that we can then use to make a bunch of other games with it. It's really tool focused. There's so many tools in that, so we can do a lot of things with this. Nobody will expect what our next game is. It is it's really something, and nobody can guess what it is. That's for sure. But we also do help other studio in Quebec City. So if you play, for example, Immortal Phoenix Rising from Ubisoft, we've designed a bunch of dungeon for that game. So we
Oh
were
wow.
at Ubisoft Quebec for a couple months. My old employer, so it was great to keep contact with these folks, and so that's what we do. You know, we do a couple job on the side and fuel our original IPs with that. But for now, most of the effort is on the DLC, which I hope we'll be able to announce more details soon.
Excellent. Perfect.
I just want to add a little bit more about that. Like,
Sure.
one of the things we wanted with Hellpoint is to have a game that is really unique, so that if you look at a screenshot of that online, you know automatically it's Hellpoint. You cannot mix it with anything else. And the next project that Matt is working on is pretty much the same idea, but 10 times
Crack.
deeper than that. Like, you would see a screenshot of that project, and it couldn't be mixed with even game of the same genre.
Oh boy. Is it going to be more metal? It has to be more metal, right?
It's
No?
more.
It's more. It's more everything.
Oh,
It's
all right.
more.
It's more J-pop. That's what I expect, anyway.
Yeah, we got a lot of requests for that. You guys gonna make a battle royale?
Oh no! Please don't.
Yeah,
Please.
mixed with Tetris.
Yes. Oh
Just to be
no.
clear, on the list of games we want to make before we die, the Battle Royale is not on the list.
No. Perfect. I appreciate you guys much more for even announcing that. But thank you guys so much for doing this. Once again, guys, Hellpoint is available on everything except for, well, it's backwards compatible with Xbox Series X and PS5, so you can certainly play it on there. But it hasn't officially been released there. Certainly give it a look, give it a go. There is no demo for it, as far as I know, on the Nintendo Switch, and I don't know about any other console or PC. I don't believe, is there?
There's a demo on the Steam and on Xbox One,
Okay.
which
Okay.
is called the Thespian Feast.
Okay.
To take with a grain of salt, because the demo is now really old compared to the game.
Right.
So there was a lot of fix that didn't make it to the demo. But it's a good sample of what the game is.
Excellent. Well, thank you guys again for joining me. Is there any last words you'd like to leave off with?
Oh, well, thanks to you for inviting us. It's always a lot of fun to do, and yeah, let's keep in touch.
Excellent.
Awesome. Look forward to it. Yeah.
I
Want to
would
talk
just
about that
say
DLC?
we just received our physical copies, so
Oh,
yes.
good.
Oh, yes, we didn't even mention the physical copies, and I'm a physical that's all my games are physical. I don't really do digital unless we're provided some review codes or anything like that. My entire collection is physical, and I'm so happy that you guys are able to do that.
Yeah, it's rare now for indies to be able to do that, and we got a box full of special editions, so they come with all kind of physical stuff. Like the art book is insane.
And now, is that still available to pre-order or no?
You cannot pre-order it, but you can buy it. They still exist.
Oh, where can they find it? Just anywhere?
It's a special edition at signatureedition.com.
Okay.
And the only thing that is no longer available is that if you pre-order the special edition, it came with a engraved coin, and the coin was just a special for the pre-order.
Okay. Well, there we go. Our physical collectors will have a lot of fun with that. Again, thank you very much, and yeah, we'll keep in touch.
Thank you guys. Really appreciate
All right. Thanks.
Bye bye.
it. Take care.
Have a nice day.